When a person decides to stop drinking, their body and mind begin a powerful and complex process of readjustment. What many people don't realize is that alcohol withdrawal doesn't look the same for everyone. Some experience mild symptoms that fade within a day, while others face intense physical and mental reactions that can last weeks. The difference depends on how long the body has relied on alcohol to function and how deeply it has become woven into the brain's chemistry. To understand this better, imagine that alcohol has been whispering to your brain for years, convincing it to adjust its balance of chemicals just to keep things normal. Once the alcohol is gone, that balance is thrown off, and the brain must learn to function on its own again. This is the essence of withdrawal, the body fighting to rediscover its natural rhythm. There are three main timelines or stages of alcohol withdrawal: mild, moderate, and severe. Each stage has its own symptoms, duration, and risks. The first usually occurs within the first 24 hours after someone stops drinking. In mild withdrawal, the symptoms resemble a prolonged hangover but often feel more unsettling. You might experience anxiety, nausea, sweating, or trembling hands. Sleep becomes elusive, the mood drops, and fatigue sets in. For most people in this phase, these discomforts reach their peak within a day, then gradually fade. The body is essentially protesting, asking, "Where is the substance I've gotten used to?" The good news is that at this stage, the discomfort is temporary and typically not dangerous. Within 24 to 30 hours, the fog starts to lift. But this window is crucial. It's often the point when people either push through or give in and drink again to make the unease stop. If someone continues to drink heavily over the years, their brain adapts more aggressively to alcohol's presence. Eventually, what was once mild withdrawal evolves into something harder to manage: moderate withdrawal. In this stage, the body reacts more strongly to the absence of alcohol. Heart rate and blood pressure rise. The person might sweat excessively and feel anxious, but this isn't ordinary anxiety. It feels like a sense of looming danger, as if something terrible is about to happen. Reflexes become hypersensitive. Loud noises or sudden movements can feel unbearable. Moderate withdrawal tends to peak within 2 days after the last drink. While most people recover without medical treatment, this stage can still be deeply distressing. The mind and body are both in overdrive, and rest seems impossible. This is when many realize that what once felt like harmless drinking has become a deeper physical dependency. If drinking continues beyond this point, the withdrawal process can eventually become severe. This third stage is dangerous, not just uncomfortable, but potentially life-threatening. Severe alcohol withdrawal can begin just a few hours after the last drink, with symptoms that intensify rapidly. The person may experience fever, trembling, extreme anxiety, or hallucinations, seeing or hearing things that aren't real. The most alarming symptom is a seizure, which usually occurs within 24 to 48 hours after the last drink. Another serious condition, delirium tremens, often called DTS, can appear several days after quitting. It brings confusion, vivid hallucinations, and a terrifying sense of losing one's grip on reality. Without medical help, DTS can last for a week or more, and in some cases can be fatal. This is why medical supervision is critical for anyone experiencing severe symptoms. When someone reaches this level of withdrawal, their body has become so dependent on alcohol that it can no longer regulate essential functions like blood pressure, temperature, and brain activity. Without it, hospitals often use medications such as benzodiazepines or barbiturates to calm the brain, lower the risk of seizures, and restore balance safely. For people at this stage, detoxing alone at home is extremely risky. Supervised medical detox may be expensive, but it can literally save a life. Understanding what causes these symptoms helps make sense of why they escalate over time. Alcohol acts as a depressant. It slows brain activity by increasing a neurotransmitter called GABA, which produces calmness, and by suppressing another neurotransmitter called glutamate, which excites the brain. In simple terms, alcohol presses the brain's brake pedal and takes its foot off the accelerator. Over months or years of drinking, the brain adjusts to this constant pressure. It begins to reduce its own production of GABA and increase glutamate to compensate. Then, when alcohol suddenly disappears, the brain is left in chaos. Too little GABA, too much glutamate. This imbalance is what creates the shaking, sweating, racing thoughts and anxiety of withdrawal. It's as if the brain has been sprinting downhill with the brakes on for years, and suddenly the brakes are gone. This overactivity, known as the glutamate rebound, is the core of withdrawal distress. It's the body's nervous system firing uncontrollably without the calming influence it's grown used to. The more years of drinking behind you, the stronger this rebound tends to be. That's why someone can go from mild withdrawal in their early years of drinking to severe withdrawal after a decade. The brain's compensatory changes become more extreme over time. Researchers have even confirmed this pattern in laboratory studies. In one experiment involving primates, scientists found that those exposed to alcohol over longer periods experienced worse withdrawal symptoms even when given smaller amounts of alcohol later. The brain had become kindled, meaning each cycle of drinking and withdrawal made the next withdrawal episode more intense. This process, kindling, explains why symptoms often worsen over the years. Not everyone follows the same path, though. Some people are more genetically or biochemically resilient, while others develop severe withdrawal faster. But the underlying principle remains the same. The longer and heavier the drinking, the more deeply the brain adapts, and the harder it becomes to return to balance once alcohol is removed. Even after the immediate withdrawal symptoms fade, many people wonder why they still don't feel normal. This is where post-acute withdrawal syndrome, PAWS, comes in. After the first 2 weeks of detox, the brain continues to heal, but it's still far from stable. Neurotransmitters, hormones, and sleep patterns are trying to realign, and this process can take weeks or even months. Pause often includes lingering anxiety, low mood, alcohol cravings, and insomnia. The intensity is lower than during acute withdrawal, but the persistence can be frustrating. Someone might think, "I'm sober. Why do I still feel bad?" The answer lies in chemistry. Years of alcohol use have depleted nutrients, damaged neurotransmitter systems, and changed the way the brain produces energy. Full recovery requires time and rebuilding. Fortunately, there are ways to accelerate healing during this stage. Proper nutrition is one of the most powerful tools. Alcohol drains the body of vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that are vital for brain repair. Replenishing them through diet or supplements helps the brain produce dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, the natural chemicals that create calmness, motivation, and happiness. Equally important is rest. Many people believe alcohol helps them sleep, but what it really does is induce a kind of unconsciousness that prevents true rest. Once alcohol is gone, it may take a while for healthy REM cycles to return. Natural sleep aids like herbal teas, L-theanine, or CBD can help during this phase. Recovery after quitting alcohol is more than just waiting for the body to stabilize. It's a full reset of the mind, chemistry, and lifestyle. Once the acute withdrawal symptoms pass, the next challenge is learning how to live without the chemical crutch that once numbed stress, boredom, or pain. This stage is often quiet, but it's where the real rebuilding begins. One of the biggest mistakes people make after detoxing is assuming they're fully healed because the worst physical symptoms are gone. In truth, the body might feel steady, but the brain is still in a fragile rebuilding phase. It's relearning how to regulate mood, energy, and motivation without relying on alcohol. This is why cravings or emotional lows can sneak in weeks after sobriety begins. Not because a person is weak, but because their brain is still rewiring itself. During post-acute withdrawal, many people describe feeling emotionally flat, as if life has lost its color. This is the result of depleted dopamine and endorphins, the same chemicals that bring pleasure and reward. When alcohol is gone, the brain must relearn how to release these naturally. It can take time, but it's absolutely possible. Every day without alcohol allows the brain to repair its receptors and restore its natural balance. To accelerate this healing, nutrition becomes a cornerstone. Alcohol is a thief of nutrients. It depletes magnesium, B vitamins, amino acids, and essential fatty acids, all of which are crucial for brain function and emotional stability. Replenishing them through real food makes a remarkable difference. Meals rich in protein, leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and omega-3 fats support neurotransmitter production. Some people use supplements to boost recovery. Vitamins like B-complex, minerals like zinc and magnesium, and amino acids such as L-glutamine and tyrosine can all help restore balance. It might seem surprising, but simple hydration also plays a major role. Chronic drinking often leads to cellular dehydration, and the body's repair mechanisms function best when properly hydrated. Even something as basic as water and electrolytes can reduce headaches, fatigue, and brain fog during early recovery. The next pillar is rest. Deep, restorative sleep is one of the body's best tools for healing, yet it's also one of the first things disrupted by alcohol. True sleep is not the same as the unconscious state induced by drinking. Alcohol suppresses REM sleep, the phase when memories consolidate and the brain rejuvenates. Once you quit, the body goes through a rebound effect, producing intense dreams and restlessness before it settles into a normal rhythm again. Using natural sleep aids like chamomile, passion flower, or amino acids such as L-theanine can help restore calm without dependence. As the body heals, the mind needs structure. Establishing daily routines provides stability when everything inside feels uncertain. Getting up at the same time, eating balanced meals, exercising, and dedicating time to creative or meaningful activities give the brain new cues for reward. This predictability reduces anxiety and helps the nervous system regulate itself again. Physical movement is another transformative weapon in recovery. Exercise doesn't just rebuild the body, it repairs the brain. Movement triggers the release of endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine, natural chemicals that bring relaxation, motivation, and happiness. Many people who recover successfully describe becoming addicted to the positive feelings after a workout. Whether it's walking, yoga, swimming, or lifting weights, physical activity acts as medicine for a healing brain. Equally vital is social connection. Alcohol often isolates people, creating an illusion of comfort while cutting off real relationships. Humans are social beings, wired to thrive on connection. Spending time with supportive people, family, friends, or recovery communities stimulates oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This isn't just emotional, it's biological. Genuine conversations, shared laughter, and being seen by others actually rebalance the chemistry that alcohol once hijacked. Of course, recovery isn't only physical or social, it's deeply psychological. When alcohol is removed, emotions long buried beneath intoxication begin to surface. Guilt, anger, sadness, or fear can reappear, sometimes all at once. Facing these emotions instead of numbing them is uncomfortable but necessary. This is where therapy, journaling, or mindfulness practices come in. Writing down thoughts, meditating, or simply learning to sit with discomfort teaches the brain to process emotions naturally again. Another powerful step is to create new neural pathways, fresh habits and rewards that gradually replace the old association between alcohol and relief. The brain learns through repetition. Each time you choose a healthy action, cooking a meal, going for a walk, spending time with someone supportive, you reinforce a new circuit. Over time, these positive pathways grow stronger, while the alcohol-related ones fade. This is what real rewiring looks like. Think of it like clearing out an overgrown forest trail. At first, it's hard to walk through, but the more you travel it, the easier and smoother it becomes. The same principle applies to recovery. Repeated positive actions carve new pathways for joy and peace. Eventually, the old habits lose power because the brain now prefers the new ones. Some people describe this transformation as getting their life back. But it's more accurate to say they're building a new one. One not centered around avoiding pain, but around creating meaning. Fulfillment becomes the new fuel. That might come from helping others, learning something new, or setting goals that once felt impossible during the haze of addiction. Recovery isn't about punishment or deprivation. It's about discovering what life feels like when your brain and body finally work together again. Still, the journey can have setbacks. Cravings can return unexpectedly, triggered by stress, memories, or even celebration. These moments are tests, not failures. Understanding what triggers you and having a plan makes all the difference. Deep breathing, calling a friend, going for a run, or simply pausing to remind yourself why you quit. These simple actions can interrupt the spiral and prevent relapse. Each time you resist, the craving circuit weakens and the brain grows stronger. Beyond individual effort, professional help can also be crucial, especially in the early stages. Doctors, therapists, and support groups offer guidance tailored to your situation. Medical supervision ensures safety during withdrawal, and therapy helps uncover the deeper reasons behind the addiction, whether stress, trauma, or learned coping mechanisms. Combining medical knowledge with emotional support creates the strongest foundation for lasting recovery. There's also value in celebrating progress, even when it feels small. Every sober day is a victory, proof that the body and mind are learning to function naturally again. Progress isn't always linear. Some days will feel easier than others. The key is consistency. Over time, the fog lifts, sleep deepens, and genuine joy begins to return. The spark that alcohol dulled starts to reignite, and eventually, something shifts. The desire to drink fades. What once felt like a constant internal battle quiets down. The body feels lighter, thoughts become clearer, and emotions start to make sense again. You wake up realizing that what you once used alcohol to escape is now manageable, even meaningful. You've built resilience, the ability to face discomfort and still move forward. Recovery teaches a truth many people never learn. The same brain that once craved destruction is also capable of rebuilding itself stronger than before. The human nervous system is remarkably adaptive. With time, care, and patience, it can heal from even deep chemical dependence. The process isn't easy, but it's one of the most profound transformations a person can experience. If there's one message to remember, it's that withdrawal and recovery are not punishments. They're signs of your body fighting for balance and survival. Every tremor, every restless night, every craving is proof that your system is recalibrating toward life again. The discomfort is temporary, but the reward is lasting freedom. So if you or someone you know is going through this, remember that it's not weakness to ask for help. Medical guidance, therapy, community, and healthy living. These are not shortcuts. They're tools for survival and strength. You don't have to face it alone. The brain and body are designed to recover when given the chance. There's life beyond addiction, one filled with clarity, calm, and self-respect. And while the early stages might feel like climbing out of a storm, every day brings you closer to stillness, closer to your real self. The pain of withdrawal eventually fades, but the lessons it teaches about resilience, balance, and gratitude stay with you forever. The road to healing is not just about abstaining from alcohol. It's about rediscovering your own power to rebuild. Step by step, day by day, the body heals, the mind steadies, and the spirit wakes up to a new kind of peace, the peace of finally being free.